This episode of Auto Dealer Live is brought to you by Auto Dealer University.
All right, we're live on Auto Dealer Live. I'm David Villa, and hear my ears. This is Chris Fritcher, and we're here with Billy Honaker.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, guys? Your ears working?
Yeah, man.
My ears aren't working, baby. You know why?
You're not plugged in.
Hey, my ears aren't working because they're not plugged in. I don't know where the hole is, man.
I got you. I'm coming.
Thank you.
It,
I was getting.
you guys stink. You're not doing it.
Hey,
wait a minute.
Did I say that out loud? I didn't say that out loud. I said it in my head.
With your
Hey,
eyes.
he didn't say that out loud.
It was,
I said,
it was with the eyes. It was
I
the
said it
eyes.
with my inside voice.
He did. He did say it. I saw it in your eyes. You
I
were
was
like,
it was
I
in the
like,
eyes.
I
It was in the
gotta
eyes.
spend all that time for
spent all
getting the
that
show
time.
together.
Hey, he threw a pen at me. Hey, he threw a pen. He threw
Need
a
my pen
pen.
back though. I need my pen. So, hey,
That's a flashback right there. He was like,
It was. You saw that?
Mike ducked.
PTSD. Mike ducked and he didn't even go to
Mike started twitching again.
ears alive.
Mike went to counseling for like 3 years for that. He got a pinhole in the back of his neck.
Hey, bring down channel 1.
Mike's got a permanent. If someone's like, "Oh, that's a small tattoo," no, that's where Dave threw a ballpoint pin at me so many times that it hit the same
hit me
spot.
the same exact spot every time.
It's like, oh, Mike's got a constellation tattoo of the stars in the back of his neck.
He's just walking out. He's got his pin stuck in his neck.
Actually, it's easier for you to accomplish that now too, because you can literally just bounce it off the wall.
Off the wall, yeah.
You can.
In the way the news.
Except that wall cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, you don't want to
let's
do
take
that.
it easy.
But why
Hey,
not?
by the way, the studio looks great today.
It does look great.
Oh my
You know,
God.
hats off, guys. Hats off. I'm the only one wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Hats off to Lou Torres,
And
Mike
Mike
Cherub, and Matthias Mirabilla.
Nice job, guys.
Hey, guys, good job, man.
AKA Blister.
Hey, so we're here. You notice Dave Cripps is not with us. He's in an off-site training today. He's doing a real estate gig, and but we're joined by current top salesperson of the month right here, right?
Boom, 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 boom.
Billy Honaker. Billy just
That's
did.
me.
Listen, guys, I want to tell you guys something really quick. Billy just did. No, this is today. Okay, this man right here did a $111,000 deal.
Come on.
Today, in one decision, one deal. Listen, $111,000 deal today. Right.
That's right.
Glory be to God.
Yes,
and some hard work. So, but here's what's crazy. So listen, guys. This, and by the way, let me say this because we've got. I want you to tune in, and I don't want you to drop off due to our nonsense. So I'm going to let you guys know what's up for the show today. First of all, our new look. Right, we're all sitting a little bit of a difference here. We got the sign behind us, but we have coming up Skype in just a few minutes. We have the vice president of Lasco Auto Group, Matt Lasco, and we also have the #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram store in the state of Arkansas for multiple months running. We have the general manager, Bill Velleman, on. So Matt and Bill will be Skyped on with us here in just a few minutes. And let me tell you something. These are true car guys. And we're going to talk to them specifically on how to step up their game in 2020, how a dealership can build on last year's success, or if you had a bad year, what you can do to turn it around. And that's what they're going to talk about. And then later on in the show, when they're finished with their segment, we've got another segment coming up. And we have Ryan Duck Dunstan coming on, and he's going to be used car manager at Lithia Springs Ford, and he's going to be
He just got promoted.
yeah, man.
Come on now.
He's going to be coming on. He's our spotlight for today. So stay tuned. We've got some great guests coming on in just a few minutes. But I want to bring this up, Billy. This article, right, that we were going to talk about, just a couple of things here. It says, what works for Google, this is in automotive news, can also work for dealerships. And the gist of it is this. And it's talking about Google. And sometimes we feel like this, dealerships, some dealerships out there are trying to follow companies that maybe coddle their employees. But I happen to agree with this, except I don't agree with making it a policy. I think it's been around for companies that really, care about their employees. And for instance, it's talking about Google allowing their employees to spend 20% of their time at work. So if they're a project manager, by trade for 40 hours a week, they're allowing them to spend up to 20% of their time doing something else in the company they like. And we believe in that because here you are as a top salesperson today of all days, and you're here on this show. This doesn't do
Literally
anything to
20% of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about that, man? I mean, it's a smart thing.
I like it because it kind of deviates or it pushes away the possibility of burnout. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't be in an industry that you're not passionate about and what you don't appreciate doing and have fun doing. But I think that, at least for my personality, I know for yours, anybody in sales, I think it's hard sometimes to have like the blinders on and just focus on one thing. I think whenever you have that 20% of the time to focus on something else, it allows opportunity. Also for like creativity, you might be able to you might learn something else in that other 20% of the time that you're doing away from your core task. And you know what? I can implement something that I just practiced in this and implement it into the other 80% of what I do.
Yeah, and Billy just hit it on the head of me. He brought up the word creativity, Chris, and again though, the reason some of these articles bother me. If you're watching, I'd love to hear you weigh in, and we'll talk a little bit. We'll bring this up to Matt Lasco and Bill Velleman when they come on Skype in just a few minutes, and maybe kind of ask them about this as well. These guys run successful stores, but I guess I always have a problem with these types of articles at the surface level. It makes me cringe because we're always trying to. Change is good and growth is good, but we're always trying to seemingly coddle people, and so with the title and how it's written, it kind of gives you that perception. But in reality, Billy's right. If you do it to salespeople or individuals who are top producers or that really are brand ambassadors for your organization, it does spark creativity, because what this does, although it doesn't directly make Billy money, I mean, he made money. He did if you missed it, $111,000 deal today. 1 month, one deal, one decision. And so, look, he's making money, but this could spark creativity for the remainder of the month, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like it because you can actually find out what other people are not only passionate about, but what they're possibly good at. Mm-hmm. And might actually discover they might actually be in a better position to do something else in your organization because they have a knack for something. I mean, sometimes we have people come in for a specific job, and those people we don't even know actually have other things that are more valuable to your corporation than what they're currently doing, because that's just what they've always done.
Honestly, we did that with you in some sense, because you came on and you came into our sales part of the organization. Mm-hmm. You were good at it. You weren't the top sales guy, but it also wasn't your passion. Right. Marketing was your passion, and then it wasn't very long that you came in. We liked you. You liked us. You saw, this is in 2012. You saw something in the company. We saw something in you, and we knew that we had a valuable asset. And so you saw a void, and it fit the passion that you had. So you said, "Hey, this is what I think we should do." And you kind of came in, and we kind of part-timed it for a while, and and it turned into what a marketing department of 6 or 7 people right now. That, by the way, not outbound but inbound, over the last 2 weeks has probably brought in about $300,000 in business just in the last 2 weeks in a marketing department, which we part-timed with you because you were passionate about something that we weren't doing. And we've done that with multiple people. We have a content writer that's written all the books that we published and all the blogs and writes for Forbes and writes for YouVersion. And he was in our BDC, and we've done that as well. So, I mean, Chris is right. It's not only is it something that can give you creativity, it could actually help us discover where a good person fits in.
Well, I was thinking, Kelly, the lady that wrote this, or that was interviewed in this article, Kelly McNeary, she said that the idea of 20% time could benefit probably every dealership in America. And I was just thinking about to my time, because before I sold our advertising program here, I sold cars at Brandon Ford. They just became the #1 dealership in the world. In the world. But the reason I bring that up is I remember countless, like you call them like lot lizards or whatever, but you have the people who just pound pavement all day. They're sitting out on the point, and there's days. Not every dealership is blessed to have the traffic that we have in Tampa. Mm-hmm. This is a remarkable car market, but if you have the person who's spending 100% of his time out on the market, maybe he's going to be better one day. Maybe he has the skill set to be a top producer in internet and not on the lot. Maybe he has the ability to talk to somebody over the phone, and you would never find that out if you never gave him that 20% to try out in another area of the company.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. And listen, if you're watching this, dealers, again, I feel compelled to tell you this as you're coming on, that just 5 minutes or so from now, we're going to be bringing on Skype 2 top-notch general managers and dealers. We're going to be bringing Matt Lasco, the vice president and general manager of the Lasco Auto Group. They have a top 60 in the nation Ford store. And if you haven't realized, there's over 3,500 Ford stores in the country, and Matt's in the top 60. And he's in the top couple used car producers in the state of Michigan. I mean, that's a big deal. And Matt's going to be coming on. And then we have Bill Velleman, and Bill is in the state of Arkansas. He's the general manager. And Bill is the #1. They're the #1 Campbell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram #1 CDJ store in the state of Arkansas, and they're fighting tooth and nail for that, man. So it's a big market as well. So they're going to be coming on in a minute. But I feel compelled to kind of bring this up. We're talking a little bit about an article that works for Google can also work for dealerships, and we talked about how it can spark creativity. We talked about how it could find help discover, but also dealerships. It could help you branch into an area that you're not currently in. For instance, video is a big deal, right? And maybe you have somebody there that does something. Maybe they're a salesperson and they're also a videographer. They're also something, they're good at video, or they're passionate about that. If you want to, segue into that, what better way to do it than have somebody that's passionate about one aspect? We did it here. Lou, our audio video producer, was a sales account manager here, and then he moved into that position again. And but he has an understanding of the product.
Yeah.
Because he was part of the driving force in the sales revenue generator for the organization. And so there's a number of benefits. I don't see any downside to this.
Well, I don't really either. I mean, we had actually discovered that we had a long time ago, we had a service manager who had a real passion for body work, and our body work part of our company was awful. Customers were unhappy, things couldn't get fixed correctly. And so they actually had him oversee the body part or the body shop for a while. And after a while, the CSI went up, and so eventually they actually moved him out of the service department and moved him over to run the body shop. So, and it was all because of his passion of what he wanted to do, and he was kind of doing it part time. And then they figured, oh well, you know what, he's actually much better at this than what he was doing. So
yeah, and John Marazzi did that when he's told the story on our show a couple of times. I remember when the first time he told it was literally a couple of months after he did it, when the Morgan Auto Group purchased Sun Toyota. John was the managing partner and owner at Brandon Honda, and they purchased Sun Toyota, and John is the managing partner of Sun Toyota. He went into a store that was producing. I mean, they were producing several hundred units. I mean, a lot of times you buy a store that's not struggling, but it's producing. You don't want to mess around with that a lot of times. And so John literally dismantled some things, but he also moved some key people that he felt were underutilized or maybe utilized in the wrong place, and put them into different places in the organization. And he talked about how certain divisions, I'm talking like parts and body shop and aftermarket, these types of departments that normally are nominal, they're forgotten, they're kind of the forgotten departments, they went up 125%. I mean, he said It was just astronomical. And when it comes to generating to the bottom line, right, it all counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, man, I'm excited. And how we're going to be bringing our guests.
Yeah, we're ready to bring them on.
Oh, they're on?
Yeah, let's bring them on.
Hey, let's bring them on, man. These guys are busy. Hey, without further ado, we're going to be bringing on. You're going to get to see their pretty faces. These are a couple good-looking dudes, man.
You see Matt's beard?
Look at Matt's beard. We need a three screen. We need a screen for that. That's a beard, right? I'm jealous.
And he's got his new gear on, man. The Mitsubishi gear. How about that?
First of all, hey, I'm on a group text in the morning with Matt and some leaders. Let me just say, I'm jealous for a couple reasons. That beard, number one, and the man. He's younger, obviously, but he owns a couple CrossFit gyms too, and he's in shape, brother. Every time I see him, I want to put my donut down. But I don't. So, hey, we got Matt Lasco. Matt's the vice president, no stranger to the show, of Lasco Auto Group. And let me just brag on him a little bit because he's a humble guy. These guys they're literally killing it in Ford. They're in Fenton, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen. Google the population in Fenton, Michigan. It's growing, but it's not growing. It's growing because Matt's selling so many cars, people are moving there. But these guys are blowing it up. Their PVRs are where they need to be. Their customer service is CSI's through the roof. Matt moved into Grand Blanc, started a pre-owned dealership there a few years ago, turned it into a top-producing, nationally recognized Mitsubishi point, and then just was awarded and purchased another Mitsubishi point in Waterford. So Matt and his brother Jay, they're doing a great job there. And then we have Bill Velleman. Bill, and he works for Heath Campbell, and Bill's a rock star GM for many, many years in many organizations, but he and Heath have taken Campbell, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep to the top, man, in the state of Arkansas. And these guys are absolute car guys. And so thank you guys for coming on with us. And we're going to ask you guys and let you talk a little bit about what you're doing and what's working. But let me ask you, Matt, just one real quick about something that we can get your opinion on this. It kind of got my attention. It's in automotive news, and it said what works for Google can also work for dealerships. And a lot of times I roll my eyes when I see these articles, but I read it, And it basically is talking about, allowing somebody that's at your store maybe to have up to 20% of the time they work to maybe do something they're passionate about there to help out. My mind goes to maybe if somebody's in sales, but they also are good at video, letting them kind of maybe introduce that into your store. And, what's your thoughts on that, first of all? And then have you had any experience on that, and has it worked for you? Matt Lasco.
Well, I don't think they're wrong in the mindset. I mean, obviously, it's not as simple as a Google, because what you might be passionate about might not necessarily be something you can create and utilize inside of a car dealership. But I will tell you, as far as experience-wise, when we've embraced the staff that was into lifted trucks, or a technician that at home had always been building up vehicles, or someone that was into horsepower, and they kind of became the champion of what that might have been, whether we were doing accessories or selling product off the sales floor, the service lane, we've seen a definite success factor. So it kind of falls into a place like you mentioned where John moved people around. Okay. Finding someone in the proper position, or finding the proper position for someone, is probably one of the most important things in a car dealership. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are really good people, and they're not always in the perfect spot. And sometimes when you make that slide and it involves what's passionate about them, they really flourish.
You got some, hey, Bill, let's get your take on that. I mean, you have some ideas on that, and then we'll let Billy get into some of the here ask the next question here. But, Bill, I'll let you weigh in on that, man. What's your thoughts on, a lot of times we just go 100 mile an hour, as salespeople, especially, when we're drivers. But, it's hard sometimes. But I've seen some growth out of it. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I tell you, it's one thing that's changed about our industry now is you have to really know your people. And when you spend as much time with them as we do these days and times, a lot of them have got a lot of interest other than just selling cars. And you got to embrace that. And a lot of times what you can find, especially when you get a one-on-one with these people, some of them have some fantastic ideas. Mm-hmm. The way social media and really embracing some of our younger sales staff and younger employees, they know a lot more about all this stuff than we do, like podcast stuff we're doing right now, and embracing that and leaning on some of our younger people that are coming up that actually grew up in this technology. My age, as long as we've been doing this is a lot of learned activity for us, but they don't know anything different. So being able to reach back to them and to use some of that knowledge that they have has been exponential for us.
That's good, man. Well said.
Yeah. No, both brought up great points, but I was going to bring up the point that Bill, you talked about passion, and actually both of you did. I was thinking about at the dealership, or really anywhere that anybody decides to work. People are going to do what they're passionate about anyways, and if you're stuck 100% of the time doing something, and you might have other little side passions going on inside your head. I mean, you think about, there's like a stupid article out on Facebook that you read about how people spend like 20-30 minutes in the bathroom every single day. Right. But like I think I'm a big proponent of efficiency and maximizing, number one, you as the owner of our company. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you want the salary that you pay us, the commission that you pay us. You want us to use our time here at IPD wisely. Same with these guys here at the dealership. They want their guys to make the most of their time at the dealership. And I think when you give somebody even that small percentage of a chance to do what they're passionate about, like maybe it is social media or maybe it's about lifted trucks. When you give somebody the chance to, you might have under like hidden stars, hidden figures inside your dealership that could really take your dealership to the next level and increase profitability and income like that. But you would never know if they never had that 20% of the chance that's like to really shine. So I was going to bring up the question to Matt here about how do you think the 20% of allowing these salespeople or your employees to do kind of free time away from their designated task, that 20%, how do you think that could increase profitability at your dealership?
Well, I think that every dealer needs to understand that 20% currently, if you're not allowing them to do something that is beneficial to the team, they're still taking the 20%. They're just not doing something productive.
Right.
So,
yeah, right.
I mean, if that helps you swallow it a little bit, like, listen, I grew up, in the car business, so there was the old smoking circles or whatever else, right?
Coffee
I remember a manager when I was like 18 years ago, look, you're going to smoke cigarettes. Why don't you walk down there and go give someone a business card? You know what I mean? Well, it's the same thing. Like you mentioned passions. I don't care if you were I have a manager that's into fishing. All he tries to do is pay attention to what trucks are at the boat shows or at the fishing tournament. So he remembers when he comes back that was the Ford truck that the boat people are buying. Like, you can definitely allow it. I think that in the sales world, it's different than more so maybe where you're missing it is the person that's directly in a salaried position that really is in that, the Google programmer or whatever it is doing the same thing. Well, there's roles in car dealerships that are that way. That might be something that you can come up with. Hey, we'd like to give you 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon to kind of free your mind. What would you work on, and could it be something cool around here, etc. And I still would say, like, we really do let people run with those things. Someone comes in and has a great idea, and it's on their time and their effort. Don't smolder them down and put the fire out. Let them go, and keep them on path of what you need. But we definitely embrace it, and I think there's definitely opportunity for production in it.
That's good. That's good. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, I was going to tell you, I got two perfect examples, a couple cases we've had here recently. We had to get some new drone footage for our backdrop of our website. We changed some of the background of it, and we were fixed to go and hire some marketing company to come in. Little did we know, one of my finance managers and his buddy, they do drone video. And we just got to talking about it. And next thing I know, that afternoon, beautiful weather, they had their drone out here, shot all of our drone footage for us, got our backdrop. Didn't cost the dealership, and a penny saved is a penny earned,
right? And
didn't cost us anything. The other example is I got a young kid that little did we know he does some some rapping and some producing of some music on the side. And we embraced that. And what he's done is he's taken that and done some different videos for Facebook that are some of the most creative things I've ever seen come out of a 19-year-old kid that we've been running our social media. And it's kind of caused kind of a hype here in our market. And it's kind of rubbed off on some of our other salespeople to think outside the box and be creative when it comes to some of that Facebook and social media marketing.
Man, I love that. I love that. So, and I think that it kind of segues into, really, because what are you supposed to do, right? A lot of times I think that these are the ways that we grow, right? When you can grow by you can make more money by cutting expenses. You can make money by hiring salespeople and growing and selling more. But then at the same time, there's markets. I love tapping into untapped markets, or being able to offer something and possibly cross-selling to a customer base with a different product. And there's ways to tap in and not have to necessarily kill yourself always, on trying to chase the extra 10 sales or 15 sales or 20 sales. And so, Matt, moving into 2020, the car, I don't know what you're feeling so far seeing, man, but January, there's just a feeling, maybe it's just here, but we're blowing the doors off of it. And
crazy.
What are you feeling, man, in 2020? Are you just really sensing this is going to be a year that we can take some ground and really move forward in this business?
Yeah, well, for our group, we feel like we got a lot of the giant things out of the way. We opened the new store up, et cetera. And the number one theme I spoke with my team is productivity per transaction. And so just like you said, there's some other opportunities within things. I had a car dealership. Our number of transactions that are handled, and we're big volume, and are mind-boggling. Repair orders, car sales, finance turns, all reconditionings, whatever you're dealing with vendors, it's massive amounts of dollars and or volume. So we're really trying to slow down, gain the extra sale, gain the extra opportunity for profit. Like you said, find a market that we might not be missing that's actually right next to us. And yeah, we see it as an opportunity of growth this year. We want to increase some new car volume. We feel like Ford's going to have some volume increases. Both the Mitsubishi stores, we see some new car opportunity. And in the used car world, we feel like it's an uncapped market. Like, that used car market is going to continue to grow. Whatever your niche is, you got to dig in and look for some more. So we're definitely have high aspirations going forward. Nice.
So Bill, let me ask you. So in your market, because every market's different, and you have a CDJ store there, what challenges do you see coming upon the new year with maybe, and it could be anything as far as your market, or it could be, from a manufacturer standpoint, do you see any challenges that you look forward to? Because, whenever there's a challenge, there's usually an opportunity. So what do you see in your market going forward?
Well, we look forward to, we had a lot of momentum coming in with Heath. and our other owner coming in and purchasing the store and getting over that initial hump of the transition through the name change, through making a splash in this market, and being able to compete with the other dealer in the state of Arkansas that had been number one for quite a while, and gain some momentum and ultimately move ahead of them a couple of months. We're excited about 2020. We think it's taking that momentum into 2020 and getting our unfair, what we call our unfair share of this market. It's something we're definitely focused on. But at the end of the day, the new car market's going to be around that 17 million mark. You got to try to get a bigger piece of that pie. But some places that we can really feel like we have an opportunity to grow is one is in pre-owned and used cars. We're in the middle of a remodel. We're fixing to have the largest pre-owned showroom in the state of Arkansas. We think we can sell up to around 400 to 500 used cars a month in our market. So that's a huge advantage to us, not just on the front end, but that transfers really all the way through the back end of the store. So we're excited about that. Continuing to make sure that we grow our F&I department, because that's another, I don't know what some of the other marks around the country is, but new car wise, front end gross, it's hard to come by. You got to try to make it up in finance, and in fixed, and in your pre-owned, and getting those trades. Because if you got to buy anything at the auctions these days, they are high. So trying to trade for those cars, gain market share on the front end is ultimately important. And then finally, last but not least, is growing that service, growing that fixed, growing that service business, because that's ultimately where you're going to retain these customers and grow this business as we grow into 2020. So that's what we're excited about.
Man, that's awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I know you're extremely busy, and I couldn't think of a better way. The two of you guys are two of the strongest car guys I know, and just out of the box, and I love it. I love the fact that I believe there's dealers right now all over the country taking notes, and just because the reality is this, we always look, and Chris brought it up. We look at the challenges, we look at sometimes we look at the obstacles, but we don't view them as opportunities. And I love the fact, Bill, you saying, hey, there's this much of a business out there, so we just want a bigger piece of that pie. And then, hey, we're building, and sometimes you got to enlarge, right, and make room for that growth. And I know, Matt, you feel that way. You guys are taking growth leaps and bounds, and so I want to thank you guys for coming on, but I want to give each of you guys just a chance. Bill, I know you just spoke, but Matt, man, give us some closing remarks and just something you want to leave the audience with, and then just take a minute or so.
Well, I guess I'll drop you with something that I've already started through this first month of the year, and I think people could pay good attention to. We as owners or dealers or general managers, we have goals and aspirations, and we want to set up forecasts, etc. But which is a must, and you need to be able to share that with the team. But what we really did was, as we sat down, I'm working through my sales team now, is to sit with the managers and talk with them about their last year, how they felt about it, their personal income, their personal goals, their personal volumes that they sold, etc. And then ask them where they wanted to go this year. Are you in the same position? Are you looking to grow your position? Where do you want your department to go? What do you envision? And kind of then marry up what we need, what they need, and come up with a together team goal. In today's world, you need buy-in. And I think the more you listen to your people, the more success you have. So our goal is to listen to the team in 2020, help them feed us what might make salespeople happier, produce more profits, etc. Because like you said, it's no different than the Google thing. They've got some great ideas. You have to be willing to listen and or open the door up for them to talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bill, you got some closing remarks?
Well, I just want to echo. I'm fortunate. Thank you guys for having me on here. It's always a joy and a blessing to be part of this crew and to be able to kind of reach out and touch the people across the country. But I'm very fortunate for the dealer that I work with. Most of all our stuff starts with Heath Campbell and the playbook that he has put in place. I get the honor and the pleasure of being able to implement that playbook and teach and coach that playbook on a day-to-day basis. But we got some real simple rules that we put in place in 19 that carry forward in 2020. Some real things you got to stick by. It's kind of our mantra. You can't see it behind me, but it's on the board behind me. Number one, be on time every day. Be on time, have a great attitude, and produce. Those three things, if you can stick by those three easy mantra, it's hard to go wrong with that. And then our last part of our philosophy is be humble, hungry, and smart. Humble, hungry, and smart. We talk about it every day. You got to be humble. You got to be grateful for just having the opportunity to come in and do what we do. We get to sell that new car smell for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what greater job could you have out there than be able to sell that? Number two, you got to be hungry. You can't ever get comfortable. You got to come in with a hunger every day, not just to sell a car, but to gain knowledge and to build your base, to build your brand, and to ultimately know more tomorrow than you knew today. And finally, be smart. Educate yourself. We talk about it all the time. Spend time on like Auto Dealer Live, opening up your sphere of influence and make yourself smarter on a day-to-day basis. Man, we got a great job. We get to sell cars for a living. What greater job could you have out there in the country today than be in the automotive profession in 2020? I'm psyched and I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me.
That's awesome.
Thanks for
Awesome,
coming on.
Man, you guys got me. I'm going to go out and sell something when I'm done with this. Thank you very much, Matt Lasco and Bill Velleman. Man, you guys are the best. See you guys soon. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Thanks
man.
for having us on, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
So, man, we're going to be moving on here in just a minute. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll talk about that segment here before we go, but to break. But we're going to be bringing on Ryan Dunston in just a minute. He's a used car sales manager, got a promotion, and we're going to talk to him. He's at Lithia Springs Ford. When you think of Lithia Springs, you're thinking of the swim.
I'm thinking of out here in Lithia.
Yeah, there's like a little swimming spring down here. He's
That's
like,
where I grew
it's
up.
like, oh man, they had a Ford store down there. No, but he's down at Lithia Springs Ford, and we're going to bring him on in a minute. He's our spotlight this week, and we're going to talk to him on just social media and everything he's doing in general. And we're gonna be back in a second with that. But before we do, let me give you a chance to weigh in on that, man. You just watched, audience. You got a chance to listen to the number one, dude. I just understand the number one. There's something about being when you're number one, everyone's throwing stuff at your back, right? Your number one CDJR store in the state of Arkansas, and they wrestled down the former number one. And you heard the guy saying, we're going to expand because we think that we can move 400 to 500 pre-owned vehicles a month. Dude, that's monster. That's monster. And then you got Matt Lasco that, as Matt's been on the show, he was there from the very beginning in 2012. They've not only taken their store into the top 60 in Ford in the country, but they've opened up to a used car point and 2 Mitsubishi points. And Matt's just a great car guy. What do you think after watching that segment?
Well, I don't think you could find you'd be hard-pressed to find two better people to have on and talk about being innovative in the automotive business. And you can tell why they are so successful because they're so optimistic about what's coming.
Oh, dude.
And they just breathe, enthusiasm. And that's what I love about the car business is the people that are in it, that are good at it, they love it. And those are two good examples of it right there.
Those are great. Yeah, absolutely. Billy, I mean, what do you think, man? You sold for the number one Ford store in the country. Listen to these two guys. What is it? What do you think?
Man, it sets you on fire a little bit. I was just thinking, when they were talking, I was thinking about when we did the Bible plan a couple months ago, and it was about expectation and how both of those dealers, Matt Lasco and Bill, they're both anticipating growth. And obviously, Matt, so far as they just opened up the new Mitsubishi store. But I was thinking about, it went back to a church service that I was at one night, and I felt like the Lord gave it to me that your expectation is dead without investment. And we can have all the expectation in the world, but we need to lean into what we're doing, lean into what we're expecting. That way we can see it come to pass. You know what I mean?
Come on now. The attitude of expectancy paid off here. If you missed it, I'm going to say it again because I'm bragging on him. Number one right now this month, and he added to that today, put together a $100,000+ deal today. And it's just a phenomenal month going on. And hey, we're gonna be back in 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna have the used car sales manager at Lithia Springs Ford, Ryan Quack Quack Duck Dunston.
Often get asked about success stories. These are just a few of our most recent favorites.
Mr. Villa, Mike Young here, Thurston Auto Plaza, Ukiah, California. Hey, I'm calling just to let you know that 3 months following your training, I was able to achieve level 3 sales status, 45 units in 90 days. First time that I've achieved that in my career. Flying high, like you said, never the same, man. I cannot thank you enough. Your training seriously changed me, man.
David, I would like to go ahead and let you know, after 30 years in the car business, there's been very few people who have motivated me to want to go ahead and train more. And I would like to go ahead and say that I would personally come work for you and follow you into any sales process that was ever open or any opportunity. Thank you very much for bringing it, and I've been doing it for 30 years. And I really find what you do in front of a camera very motivating. Thank you.
Charles Fresca. He's been here 5 years. I've been here for 3 months. Charles Fresca's been 12 to 14 car guy. I set him down, and we've been doing some one-on-ones, and we went through Own the Phone. We went through the Growth 101, and we went through the new car training. And Charles is not a new guy. Charles is an old guy that's skipping steps, putting back on the basics. Went through it. Last month, Charles did 22 cars.
Come on.
Yeah. We're back. Auto Dealer Live. Makes you want to sing. I don't know what if they couldn't hear this and we're sitting there like.
I was kind of wondering that if they can't hear it and we just bobbing our head.
Yeah, that's
It's
stupid.
Thursday, 4:06. Got about 20 minutes left on the show. We're getting ready to bring on the superstar Ryan Dunston in just a minute.
We got Ryan Doug Dunston on
This
the
makes
line.
me want to
We
go
can bring
sell
him on
something.
right now.
This
Let me
music.
just-
All right, guys. So here we go. This is the spotlight for today. Something new. We're gonna start doing in 2020. Way to cut that off like a turd, man. It's like just he just.
But it's not. It fades.
It fades. All right, man. My bad. You gotta tell me that ahead of time.
That was a song, though.
Cut it off. Lou, cut it off. Like Lou pinched it off, baby.
I got
It's
duck
just like I'm
on,
sitting there
man.
like this. Boom. Hey, we got Ryan
like-
Duck Dunston, used car sales manager at Lithia Springs Ford. Ryan, man, you're today's spotlight on Auto Dealer Live. First of all, congratulations, man. You are kicking butt up there. What's going on, my man?
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the recognition and shout-outs. Not too much, man. I'm getting ready to I'm getting excited to start this 2020 with a new chapter, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir, man. New chapter, absolutely. So let me ask you this: so you're coming into this new chapter. It's obviously new year, new chapter, new responsibility, new opportunities. What's your expectation, man? I mean, we followed your career. We've had you on multiple times. Obviously, you're no stranger to the auto business. You're all over social media. People are inspired by you on a daily basis. And looking into 2020 and this new opportunity, what are your expectations for this year? And if you can kind of share with the audience, maybe from your perspective.
Well, I think the first thing that I want to do in 2020 is one of my actual expectations for 2020 is to grow. I want to learn this new craft in managing inventory and managing a larger team, different dynamics when it comes to. I'll have salespeople that I'll be leading, and I'll have a couple of detail crew that I'm leading, and a couple of service techs. And the major thing is, close to $1 million in inventory, over $1 million in inventory. That's something that I'm already uncomfortable with it. So. But that's just the inventory. I love people. I've connected with people. I haven't been intimidated by by growing who I'm managing, that number growing. I'm not intimidated by that at all, but I am slightly intimidated on the inventory and making sure I'm not doing anything wrong. But first and foremost, I just want to grow. I want to grow into it. Somebody said recently, I just want to fail forward, until I got it figured out.
That's good. Well, Billy, you know something about Ford inventory. I mean, you worked at Brandon Ford. I mean, it looks like a freaking mall. But,
it's crazy.
Ryan is moving into this position but always been a rock star, in sales, rock star in management leadership. But it's a different deal, man, right? When you step up and you got to start leading people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. I get stressed out sometimes. Just doing what we do here, you got millions of dollars worth of inventory there. When I worked at Brandon Ford, one of the guys there, his name is Bernard. He's the used car manager there, and it's constant every single day going back and forth to the auctions, and then so they have about 600 to 700 cars in their used car inventory, which is huge. I mean, they're number one in the world right now. But Dave's got me on live or on a video. But they have a lot of inventory, and I could see how that'd be overwhelming as far as trying to move, not just bring the inventory in, but also keeping a cycle of getting the old stuff out, first in, first out. You know what I mean? So I couldn't I couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, Ryan, I can tell you're stepping into a new opportunity, but also I can sense in your voice, man, the new responsibility. And I know that you don't take that lightly.
No, I don't. No, I've never been one. I think it's maybe the prior military in me, maybe, but man, responsibility is massive. I don't like to let people down. I hate the idea of failing for someone or something failing. I'm gonna tell you how crazy it is for me. This is how much I think about it. And so far, I mean, I've gotten nothing but good jobs and pats on the back from my GSM and from my GM, on the clock and off the clock. This morning, I woke up normal time, got the kids to school. I took the day off today. First day off so far of the new year, and I'm going to be taking Thursdays off moving forward. So I take the day off. I get the kids to school. Melissa, my wife, goes to the gym, and I come back home, and I'm just beat. I went to sleep. I went back to sleep at like 8:30, 8:45 in the morning. I wake up after having this horrible dream about planes crashing, three planes crashing. And I'm planning on flying to Florida in 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh, crap. I'm gassing up one of the cars, you know. I ended up looking it up, and it talks about planes crashing. It talks about new projects. This is just Google search and me freaking myself out. It talks about how if you dream about planes crashing, you might have new projects coming up, and you're afraid that they may fail.
Come on.
And I'm like, oh, my goodness. What in the what?
You know,
I don't have this often.
Well, you know something, man. I want to encourage you because and I think this is a good spot for this show because here's the reality. If you're listening right now to Ryan, and fear's a healthy thing, man. Because
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. That speaks my language because if I would hire somebody like Ryan and it's saying what Ryan's saying right now, feeling like Ryan's feeling like right now, 10 over 1 to somebody who doesn't. Here's why, man. It's not a you're saying I don't want to let somebody down, and it's a
No.
and you love people and care about people and you care about the opportunity. And I'm going to tell you this, you know what? And you won't because it's such a priority to you. You have such a recognition. I wouldn't even call it fear in a scared way. I call it a healthy dose of recognition.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a responsibility, there's a weight, and there's an accountability on me. And so I'm just going to say this, man. You're destined for huge success in that position because you care. And that's the deal. You know what I'm saying, Chris? I mean, you care about it. And you know what? Because you care about it and you care about people are probably going to work themselves to death, man. They're literally going to pour out their lives. People are die for that type of cause. And you mentioned the military. I mean, they do it every single day. And you know what? If you can make that cause something that touches the hearts of people and lay a vision out for that used car department, you're going to have individuals step up that are not literally, but they'll lay down their life, so to speak, for the vision. Chris, you've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what I like most is when you're getting ready to move in this position, and you're putting everything else above you. You know what I mean? Like you're putting your sales. Everything I just heard from you is you're putting your GMs, the store, the inventory, and the salespeople all ahead of yourself because you've put on the responsibility of I got to take care of all of this. Everything's got to be successful. And I think when you go in with that type of attitude, you can't fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're putting yourself last. And you're putting everything else forward. I think that's a recipe for success.
It is, man. It is. Well, man, I am pumped up and excited, and to hear the great news, to have you on when you guys are breaking records and shattering, the goals that you've set in the middle of this year, man. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. If anybody can do it, you can, brother, and you deserve it and earned it. And we just wanted to bring you on today. I know it's your day off, and we don't want to keep you away from your family. We just wanted to bring you on and give you a little spotlight because you know what? This industry has benefited from you. They benefited from your encouragement, and I can sense in your voice and in your demeanor the weight of the responsibility and how you just basically stepped into just a new level. You stepped into that new level, and I'd say embrace it, right, Billy?
Yeah, and another thing is I think it's important to maybe the individual like yourself. How long have you been in the industry now, Ryan?
7 years. Right
So reverse
February would be 7 years.
7 years. So like flashback to 7 years ago when you first got started in the car industry. Now flashback to now, there's somebody on their first day of the job. They're just about to start getting serious about this thing, saying, "Hey, you know what? I have the opportunity to where I can help sell it, where I can help somebody buy a car, purchase a car, get themselves from point A to point B with a vehicle that fits their needs." But a lot of times people look at the car industry as like a seasonal thing. And I think now what we're getting to in the day and age that we're in now is people are grasping the idea that the car business can be a career, not just a thing in between jobs. And to that person that's starting day one, when they look at your testimony, how you started 7 years ago, started off as a salesperson, now here you are promoted to used car manager here at Lithia Springs Ford. It's encouraging for the people who are starting the day that, you know what, there is an opportunity for me not to just sell cars and pound payment for the rest of my life. I have the ability to have some responsibility, to be able to prove my worth to somebody, and to be able to really change the outcome of a dealership.
So Ryan, I have a question before we move any further. What are you looking forward to the most out of all these new responsibilities and all these new things you got coming up? What is the one thing that you're really excited about digging into?
Overall, I'd say, without thought, I'd say like just continuing to develop the culture that we have at our store. When I first got in the industry, I was at a Hyundai store that was more high volume, and we had people that were, I was clueless, and others. I mean, I saw probably 70 clueless people come through that store in 5 years. So I saw how the people that impacted my life, from me being brand new into the business, I had a Rockstar GSM, and I had some other people that were in and out of our dealership that were trainers and whatnot, and then they really changed me, opened my eyes. And, I went from living in a little $500 a month place on the side of the road to, purchasing a beautiful house where we can all fit our family plus, a guest room. It's just, I feel like, if it was for me, it could be for anybody. And so every time we get a new hire, every time I talk to somebody or somebody asks me, what do you do? Because they see something that I have maybe. And, man, I immediately put my grocery bags down to have a conversation. I'm just that kind of person because I didn't intentionally get in this business. You're right about it being seasonal, man. I got laid off at the last day of the year in 2013. I got laid off from a job that I was using a technical skill that I learned in the military. And I just filled out applications, and a car dealership called me back. And the rest, when I say the rest is history, I almost feel like it's me putting out the effort, me yielding, the return. It's almost giving to me before I'm ready. It's like I wanted to continue to master my craft in the internet space, and I thought I was very becoming of that. And next thing you know, it's like, well, no, here you are. And before that, I was mastering my craft on the floor. I didn't figure. I was just doing it, and I'm never there yet, right? I'm never like, oh, I've achieved the 10. Let me move up. I want to move up. I haven't even got to have a conversation about moving up. My boss boss after boss has come to me, and it's just, man, it's so daggone cool. It's so daggone humbling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, you know what, man? We love you, man. Love you and appreciate you. And, something, I'll leave you with something that our guest, we had Matt Lasco and Bill Velleman, two GMs. And, one's a dealer, one's a GM. And so, I don't know if you heard it or not, but something that Bill said at the end, stay humble, stay hungry, and stay smart. And I know you're hungry, because you've always been hungry. And I know you're smart because we've watched your career over the last 7 years and watched you grow. And, but you know what? I just found out you're humble. And something, man, that's that humility is it, brother. And because there's a lot of talented people out there that have no humility whatsoever. I don't want any part of that. But you bring someone man, that remembers where they came from and cares about people. That's what it's all about. So, man, congratulations, man. We just wanted to bring you on and honor you, man, and spotlight you. And we'll be praying for you. We'll be watching and following you. And I love the fact, man, you keep cooking in that kitchen, baby. Keep doing those lives. People need to check. Listen, if you're hungry, just wait until Ryan announces he's going to do another Facebook Live in his kitchen, because that man, he'll make me go out and buy a steak. Let me tell you right now.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. When I'm in Georgia, man, I want you to invite me over for dinner, brother, because I want to.
You got a room here. All of you all have a room here. I want to tell you this before I go. It's just like David, the group, that the network that you put together, that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the networks that I've been a part of, being able to shake hands and meet and message with so many of these people. Man, just by myself, I wouldn't be selling cars anymore. So I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate the network and the people that you bring together and make available to people like me, new coming into the business. That's the life-changing part of it. It's not clocking in and showing up on time. It's really the network of people in our dealerships and in our automotive families that we've created outside of our dealerships.
Well, I appreciate that, brother.
Well, congratulations again.
Yeah. Ryan Dunstan, man. Make sure you follow him. Check him out if you're not already. Used car sales manager, Lithia Springs Ford. Ryan, man, have a great weekend, man. We look forward to seeing a great year.
Thank you all.
Hey, thank you. All right, guys. So, man, you know what? That gives I got a little goosebumps under my sleeves.
Yeah, absolutely. There goes the music. I guess we got to rap about it now.
Before we wrap up, I mean, we got to.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to.
Yeah, we got somebody that just
walks in the
I'm not saying the elephant in the room.
You know we can't hear you, right?
Oh,
it's
it's
like
so
I'm in a
loud.
club.
Oh. Oh, turn the music down.
My ears are in a club. We're in a silent room that no one else outside of our ears thinks we're in a club. But my ears feel like they're in a club.
We got it's like the silent disco. Like we're just dancing.
Yeah.
The music that loud?
That's a fact.
Saturday Night Live. Like,
Oh, you know what happened is we swapped channels.
See what
I'm
happened.
gonna bring it down. Look,
What
ready?
happened was-
Better?
no, I mean, it sounded good. I just couldn't hear what you were saying. You were like,
hey,
Right when he opened up his mouth, the music just was like.
it's all in your ears. I promise.
hey, what are Lewis
Hey,
trying to say?
I was trying to say we got a special guest. Hey, go over there.
Come on, man.
Both
Come
of
over
you
here,
guys,
man.
go
Come
over
on, guys. Come here, both of you guys.
They just
Hey, so they
walked
just
in.
walked into the studio.
Come on, big dog.
Come on, look who we got live on set here.
Hey,
Come on.
look at that.
What's
Come
up?
on now.
We got Matt Keenan.
Man.
Spear, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Good to see you again. It's been a while. These guys just popped in. They were speaking at an event today with Dave Cribbs was putting on. And man, what do you think, man?
Oh, you know what? It was amazing, dude. Couple hundred people there. Like, talk about blessing up some realtors, dude. There was so much good knowledge shared today. So many people walked out of there just smiling. Danelle Delgado was there, closed it out. She did an amazing job. It was nice. I'll tell you what, Dave and Lisa put on an amazing event.
Yeah,
and,
they always
and
do.
Johnny, right, was the other guy. Just mind blowing. It was good. It was good.
So, hey, car business, man. We only have a couple minutes left in the show. Car business 2020. I mean, we had some great guests on the day, and all they did, seriously, today, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. They just spit expectation. Right? That's all it was. It was just like, I mean, Matt and Bill Velleman. Bill's the #1 CDJR store in the state of Arkansas. They're getting ready to build a new used car facility to move 400 to 500 used cars a month. And then we got Matt Lasco, of course, you know Matt. And then we had Ryan come on a minute ago. But these guys were talking about their expectations for 2020. And it was just, I mean, you could see it. They were Skyped in. You could see it on their face. They were just like, they believed it. They felt it. What do you think? 2020 in the car business, man. Here, lean in here.
I think dealers are finally embracing the fact that they need to actually care about their customers that they have. I heard somebody say the other day, stop worrying about getting more followers and care about the followers you have. I think that's going to transition to the car business well. Stop just focusing on where do I get new customers and start loving the 7,000 in your database that haven't heard from you in 3 months.
Ooh, nice, man. Hey, Chris, what do you think, man? I know you, are you you're on air guy? What do you think? Car business. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of. I think we're going to see a lot of growth from some of the really good dealers who care, and I think as the industry makes a shift and we start to see a decline, because it always comes. I think the dealers who don't care to train their people aren't going to take the time to train their people. I think they're going to see a decline, and the dealers that are doing it right and training their people, they're going to see huge increases.
Come on,
Matt. You got something coming up here in Vegas. Talk about that, man. Tell our audience, is there still time to get plugged into what you're doing?
There are. As a matter of fact, Flick Fusion and Automax both stepped up to hook people up. So right now, if people go to rockstarinfo.com, it's one day, 20 speakers, TED Talk style, 18-minute sessions, 20 of them in one day, and hotel suite is included. $264.
$264.
Includes your hotel suite, the Vidara on the Strip, which is hooked up to the Bellagio. Includes your lunch. Includes networking with 20 of the best. Influencers, man. It's going to be a beautiful day. Rockstarinfo.com.
Rockstarinfo.com coming up in Vegas. And, man, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with. What do you think, man? Show. Give us some of your final comments.
My final comment is I'm just excited. I mean, I don't know how you can have these 3 guests on today and not come away optimistic about what's to come. I mean, those 3 guys just fired me up, man.
They did. Billy? By the way, I'm going to brag one more time on Billy in case you guys are catching on. And you guys, man, because I'm going to tell you.
He's saying
humble.
stop it. He's like, come on,
keep
it coming.
Man is #1 this month, right? #1 this month, which he's been #1 before. Today, Matt, this isn't no like down the road, like 1 year type deal. In one decision, 1 month, like checks in-house, going to be in-house deal, sold a $110,000 deal today.
Nice. Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
So Billy's, and he's humble. Look at him.
I mean, it's awesome. But yeah, like what you were about to ask me, because this makes me feel awkward. Were you about to ask me what I think about the show today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
What did you think I was going to ask you?
What'd you think? Yeah.
I thought you were gonna ask me to like expound on what we were just about.
I know
Me bragging on myself. I'm getting red right now.
Like he doesn't,
no.
He's humble.
So
That's
no,
why I'm doing it, because
I think the show was great today. Yeah, appreciate it, man. I couldn't do it without you. But you see how I did that?
Yeah.
Flipped it back on you. Now you're gonna feel awkward. Yeah. No, but I feel like today. This is how he is.
No, it's you, man.
No, it's you. No, today's show was great. I think it was a lot about. I don't know. I didn't hear a lot of people bragging about themselves. You know what I mean?
No.
There wasn't like a bunch of egos in the room. I think it was a lot about. We know something's coming. We need to get ready for it. I think that if you make room, I think you'll be able to facilitate what's going to happen.
Amen. Hey, sorry, we could just stay here all day, but we got some. I guess we have work to do. What do you say, Lou?
Let's shut it down, baby. Let's shut it
down.
down.
Just cut off.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I need to go do something because I'm like my anxiety's out of control. So we're good.
Okay. All right. Well, you're doing something.
It's a lot of bodies in here.
A lot of bodies. It's hot in here, man. It's hot.
Hey, so next week we're going to continue. This is our first week in our new format. You like it?
Yeah, man.
So every week we're going to open up with our monologue. We're going to get the banter. We're going to talk about some articles that might tick us off a little bit, or maybe we like them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to bring Skype in two top-notch GSMs, GMs, or dealers for our panel. Skype them in, and then we're going to spotlight somebody at the third part of this segment. And so we look forward to a great year. And hey, by the way, Digital Dealer. We're going to be at Digital Dealer. We're setting our whole rig up. Are you excited about that? That's coming. And we got. If you came last year, we had a really cool. I don't know, what do you call it? Scaffolding and rig?
Yeah, scaffolding,
rig,
rigs, and it's
cool.
awesome.
So we're gonna be there interviewing, and then
very descriptive, Lou.
I got the privilege to MC.
We're gonna make David Villa's dreams come true.
That's what I'm talking about.
Huh?
I don't even know why he said
I'm
that.
I'm MCing the keynotes this year, so I'm back doing that. I'm excited about it, and then so we'll see you guys there, April.
How did something to just a conversation all of a sudden turn weird by Mike getting involved in it?
You saw that? You saw that?
You made it totally weird and uncomfortable.
Be honest, that was weird. When I don't know what you're talking about, and everyone listening is like, ooh.
Is it just me, or did it all of a sudden get uncomfortable?
Hey,
what dreams, Mike? What dreams?
It was a little weird. It was a little weird. Hey, Mike Chair, welcome back.
Yes, Mike Chair, welcome back.
Welcome back.
The show was so.
Oh, come on, bro.
I'm kidding, bro.
Come
I'm kidding.
on,
you don't
man.
take a shot. I didn't finish it.
Just throw the pen over here. Don't be the dang pen.
All right, love you guys. Hey, peace out. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.